Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of The Nest where we discuss everything babies. I am your host, Gladwell Kameni. On today's episode, we are discussing special needs autism. If you have been with us through the different episodes, you may remember we already discussed special needs cerebral palsy. Autistic children remain in our society, and we remain having the responsibility to embrace them and love on them and live with them. On set, I am joined by amazing people who have been gifted with having close relatives dealing with autism. Allow me to welcome my guests. I will start with you, Anne. Anne, introduce yourself.
My name is Anne Maina. I am married and a mother of 4.
Ish, mother of 4.
Yes.
Looking very lovely.
Thank you.
Welcome to our show, Terry.
Thank you once again for having me on the show. My name is Terry Mbari, a mother of 1. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I think the common factor for the both of you on set is the fact that you both have very close people in your lives who are dealing and living with autism. So maybe, Anne, you can tell me who in your family is going through autism, and when you discovered this, in a brief, like a minute.
You did well to tell me in a minute because I can go on and on. Anyway, is my son, Manuel, my firstborn son. He's now 9 years old, a very lovely boy.
Yes.
And I discovered he had an issue early in life, but the actual medical diagnosis came at 3 years.
Okay.
Yes.
3 years.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, we'll stick at that because I know we'll hear the whole story after the short break.
Yes.
Terry, I know your brother. Tell us about that.
Well, I have a twin brother who was diagnosed with a condition in the autism spectrum called Asperger's syndrome. This was discovered quite late, I think, when he was in primary school.
Around how old was he? Primary school is vast.
He was around 9 years, because this is a condition that often goes undiagnosed.
Yes.
So it was not detected early.
Yes.
And he wasn't displaying autistic characteristics.
Okay.
He was displaying, you can say, people with Asperger's syndrome are often described as geniuses in their own world.
Yes. I think we're very curious to know the journey, especially considering that's your twin. People would actually assume that small babies would be easy to diagnose, especially when you have twins, and you'd probably compare them in their milestones. So for the viewers back home, please don't go away. You will want to hear the full story regarding autism. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to The Nest where we discuss everything babies. On today's show, we are discussing special needs autism. As we wait to hear the stories of these amazing ladies, I want to remind you to please remember to send us your amazing baby photos, any birthday wishes you'd like for your babies, and any funny videos that we can share towards the end of the show. We will be very good to actually celebrate you moms back home who send this to us. So back to our topic of today on autism. We actually are joined by a twin. Your brother is how old now, Terry?
He's now 28 years old. Finished university. With his condition, we don't really call it a disability, but it's an added ability. He was able to graduate from university last year, but that was 2016.
Nice.
November, which was it was no mean feat.
Oh.
And up to this day, I really thank God for that far that he got. And he's right now looking for a job. Yes.
Okay, he will get a job. And I love that we have Anne here who has a young boy. And therefore, I know you're feeling encouraged.
Yes, of course.
Share with us your journey.
My journey has not been easy. It's better now, but earlier on in life, it has not always been that way. My son was, as I said earlier, I always knew my son had an issue. I couldn't tell what.
Okay.
But my motherly instincts were telling me, babies are not supposed to be like this.
All right.
He used to cry a lot.
Yes.
A lot more than usual babies. And at first when I asked around, yeah, my baby's crying a lot, and I was told it's colic, yeah, and we got over the colic period. He's still crying.
This is your firstborn?
This is my firstborn.
Okay.
So I really don't have much experience about babies.
Yes.
But I notice even when we go to church, he cries throughout the sermon.
Wow. That's
it
like
became
30
unbearable.
minutes.
Yes, became
Yeah.
unbearable to be in the service with him.
Yes.
So I knew there was a problem. But when I would ask the medics, when I like go for the clinic, they'd tell me it's normal.
Yes.
But then at 1 year, my son was standing up and holding furniture around.
Yes.
And at that point, you can't wait for your baby to walk.
Yes.
Unfortunately, instead of walking, he started crawling.
Okay.
So it's like he slid back.
Yes.
And you're hoping this is just going to be 1 week, 2 weeks. But from 1 year, he walked at 2 years, 3 months.
Wow.
Between that period, we visited doctors.
Yes.
I mean, we went to hospitals,
Yes.
pediatricians.
Yes.
Tests were done.
Yes.
And they all said, your son is okay.
Uh-huh.
We don't see why you're worried.
Yes.
I mean, just wait. He'll walk at some point. He walked at 2 years, 3 months.
Yes.
And after that is when it hit me. My son is not talking. He's not even saying mama, not baba. He doesn't even seem to recognize his name. So again, we start this rush to hospitals. And one time, my nephew had come visiting with my mom. He had the condition where we needed to see a neurologist.
Okay.
And on our visit, I mentioned about my son who is not yet speaking.
Yes.
And is now about 2 months, 8 months,
2
2 years,
years.
8 months.
Uh-huh.
Then the neurologist told us to book him in for an appointment.
Yes.
So we booked him in.
Yes.
And when we went, that's when the doctor said, your son seems to exhibit characteristics of autism.
Okay.
And so I was excited actually, because finally the doctor knows what the problem
I
is.
know, yeah, it's been too long.
And being in a hospital,
Yes.
I imagined the doctor will write me a prescription.
Oh yeah, solution.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited. I'm like, okay, so you'll give me the prescription. I'll just get the medicine from the pharmacy.
Yes.
And the doctor tells me, no, there is no medicine for this. It's a lifelong condition.
Wow.
You will just have to know how to manage it.
Wow.
For now, for your son.
Wow.
And when he grows up, he'll probably know how to manage it himself.
Wow.
That was, I think, one of the most heartbreaking points of my life.
Yes.
It's a firstborn.
Yes.
And you're being told he has a lifelong condition.
Yes.
That he has to live with, that you have no idea about. So I sat there and I told the doctor, okay, tell me all about this condition. I want to be equipped.
Yes.
And he told me, you know what? Go Google. Go home. Google. This is my card. Whenever you have a question, call me. Because there's just too much that I could tell you.
Oh.
And as she said, it's a spectrum.
Yes.
No two people with autism are the same.
Oh really?
Yes. It's not like the way you have a cold and you're coughing,
Yes.
and so all of us can get a cough syrup.
Oh yeah.
The therapies for the children or for people with autism are different.
Yes.
As you had, her brother has Asperger's syndrome. My son is on a mild, on the mild side of autism,
Yes.
but not Asperger's. I was just speaking to her earlier before we came on set. And she was telling me the brother talks a lot. I mean, talks. My son on the other side,
Yes.
for him to say a word, you need to literally get it out of him.
What?
He will know he needs a cup, and he
Yeah.
will pull you, bring you to where the cup is, and he will refuse to say cup. So he has a challenge in speech.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
He's now 9 years old. He communicates in 1 word or 2 word sentences.
Yes.
Yes. Speech to him, it's not his thing.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
He
Okay.
will communicate in other ways, but not speech.
Tell me about the integration of your child.
Yes.
Now, especially now when you discovered that this is what this is.
Yes.
And your child has to hang out with other children
Yes.
of the same age group.
Yes.
How was that? How was that working out?
It was very difficult. It's very difficult. Autistic children have tendencies of withdrawal.
Okay.
They love being by themselves.
Yes.
And therefore, like, would have a birthday party. The birthday is actually his birthday. And he will literally refuse even to cut the cake. He doesn't want to be around people.
Wow.
And as I mentioned earlier, like the way he would cry a lot.
Yes.
Later on in life, we came to know he also had something else other than autism. He had something called sensory integration disorder.
Okay.
He's hypersensitive generally.
Yes.
So in crowded places, he will close his ears.
He feels like the noise is
It's
too
too
much. Yes.
Yes. So that means even in playgrounds,
Yes.
he will not want to be with other children. They are making way too much noise for him. And this is not just with the hearing, it goes even for the skin.
Yes.
When I took him for therapy and I explained how he doesn't like even to carry his school bag or doesn't like sitting on a wooden bench, and the therapist told me, your son is too sensitive. When you touch him, he feels as if you're passing steel wool across his skin.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
So even shaving his hair, brushing his teeth, he's generally sensitive.
All right.
That was helped by when I went for occupational therapy. So it's a bit better now. He can carry his bag, although he still has issues with shaving hair. He can't go to the barber.
Yes.
I do it at home.
Yes.
Brushing his teeth, I still have to monitor because he doesn't like the brush.
Yes.
It's too much for him.
Yes.
Yes. So they are different. Some autistic children have issues with diet. My son doesn't. But some of them, you give them a mandazi.
Yes.
And you will not sit down. They become hyperactive. Some of them, you give them one mandazi and a soda, and you will not sleep because most of them have issues with sleep, insomnia.
Yes.
Literally, one mandazi, one soda, he may not sleep through the night.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. So it's a range.
Okay.
It's a range.
Okay.
Yes. So for my son, it was very difficult to have him even go for family functions because people don't understand why he's closing his ears. Sometimes when we, even now, when we go to church, he likes to wear hooded jackets so that when the noise is too much for him, he wears his hood and closes his ears. Yes.
So there.
And by noise, I don't mean the noise that you hear. By noise, I mean a zip, somebody closing the zip. I mean your earring dropping on the floor.
It may to them it may sound too loud.
Yes. I mean a car that is a kilometer away hooting or even just passing. Yes. Those I'll give you a small example of my friend whose son is just like my son's age. One time they were doing homework and then the son closes his ears suddenly. And the mother is wondering what's up. There's no noise, nothing. And within less than a minute, the bulb blew. He could hear that from the bulb, the one that you can't hear.
What?
Yes.
Okay, it makes me very curious. It makes me very curious that there could be a lot that the autistic population can do.
Yes.
It's like untapped potential.
Yes. In some countries, I've been reading a lot about autism, and I've heard and read that some countries are getting autistic people to work in the FBI.
Because
in crime scenes,
yes,
they are very keen. They don't leave anything. They are detailed.
Yes.
Detailed. Yes. So those professions where you need people to be on detail, they're really good. Yes.
Tell me, okay, you wanted
also to add on that?
Yes.
They like routine.
All right.
And they're very organized. For example, my brother, he would wake up at a certain time. If it's 5 a.m., he will wake up at 5 a.m. Not 5:10, not 4:50. He'll wake up at 5 a.m. He will do the same exact thing every day. If you try to change it, there will be a lot of resistance, and he would really not want that. And he's a perfectionist. This is the way he makes his bed. Don't try to make that bed for him, because he will notice that is not perfect. For example, my brother would till to date, he if you ask him who's the MP of I don't know where, he knows all the MPs, all the governors. He would write them down. And that is and that's, we notice that's a talent. That is his ability. He can memorize so many things. If you ask him the headline of a newspaper on 20th November 2018, he will tell you.
Let me ask you, Terry, I know we remember things as far back as 3-4 years old. Do you remember anything outstanding about your brother at that time in regard to him being autistic?
I wouldn't say I would remember things in regards to his condition. But I'd say, for example, when we'd go out to play, he would be by himself. He would really like to play. If it was a certain game, he'd want to do it a certain way. And so he wouldn't really socialize with us. And that is something that, you know, this is my twin brother. I want us to all play together. So it was quite difficult at that time. And also coming to school, my parents really at that time, as I said earlier, this is a condition that is highly misdiagnosed. So even to tell it apart it's not quite easy. So at first we were all both taken to a normal school, but you'd notice in class he'd be beaten for not answering the question as was asked, not doing his homework as was.
This is a regular school.
So at around maybe when he was in class 2, class 3, that's when my parents now decided to take him to a therapist, just to understand what is going on. This person is thriving, this other person is not thriving, and they're both the same age. So what is going on? And from then on, that's when they started taking him to a special needs school. I must say it's a challenge, because teachers, you see, in the normal school, teachers really do not understand or don't take time to understand this child.
Naturally.
They think this is a rebel. He's just rebelling. He just doesn't want to answer the question. He just doesn't want to understand. But they don't take time to really understand, or even talk to the parent and inform the parent, this is what we've noticed. Because during the day the teacher is with the child more than the parent. So they need to discuss with the parent, okay, this is what we've noticed, and we don't know what's going on. Just inform.
But most teachers they have a population of children, and they're like, you've decided to be stubborn,
you just go.
That's your problem. I think I'll cut you because of time, and I like that there is a future and so much coming out of having your brother being where he is today and actually being integrated in the society, and in the interest of moms with babies. Anne, what would you say that you probably would advise moms to look out for? Because I think I really admire that you notice these things very early, and when you look online, I'm even surprised you are able to use Google, because you told me every child is different. And therefore I'm wondering, what information did you even get that will apply for your child? Yet you saw all those challenges. And when you talk about a pin drop being very loud in a child's ear, I don't know how they survive before they begin to speak for themselves. 0 to 2. You see the time that. What would you advise moms to look out for, even as you share what you did in terms of the adopting to the change?
Now, most children they have an allergy for sugars, wheat, and some cow milk because of casein.
Yes.
If you notice your child, when they take any of these, are becoming overly hyper. There's the hyper of normal toddlers and normal children, and then there's the hyper of climbing up the windows and breaking everything that is on the table.
Yes.
That is normal. That is not normal hyper.
Yes.
You probably need to go to the doctor.
Destructive behavior.
Destructive behavior. Very destructive. There's destructive for the normal naughtiness of children.
Yes.
Then there is destructive behavior. Let me first demystify this.
Yes.
When they are doing that, they are not naughty.
Yes.
It is something in their brain called information overload. They're having too much. They don't know what to do. Have you ever seen somebody who is too angry and they start punching everything?
Yes.
It's almost something like that.
Yes.
They really don't want to do it.
Yes.
It's just because their brain can't handle.
Yes.
And so sometimes they are mistaken, just like she said.
Yes.
Because sometimes people just think, you mother, you're not bringing up your child in the right values.
Yes.
But that is one of the things to look out for. There are some physical things that you can look out for.
Yes.
Most autism children do not have eye contact. They can't look at you in the eye.
Okay.
They also cannot point, most of them.
Okay.
Like this.
Yes.
My son to date, he's 9 years, he can't point. He doesn't point at all. He doesn't point.
All right.
Then there is something called steaming.
Yes.
Steaming is like I don't know, it's like they're nervous.
Yes.
They are fidgeting with their fingers.
Yes.
Like this.
Yes.
My son does that all the time.
Yes.
Some start to hit their head.
Yes.
And some it can really be bad. They can start hitting themselves on the wall.
Yes.
Some even have some self-harming behavior, like biting themselves or pinching themselves.
Wow.
And sometimes when they go to school, they can even start to pinch others.
Okay.
But the reason they are doing this is because the people around them are not understanding them.
Yes.
They really want to be understood,
Yes.
but they cannot be able to let that information out.
Yes.
It's almost like you can imagine, like locked in a room. You really want to tell people out there, I am here.
Yes.
You try everything. Try sneaking under the door, try to open the window, you try hitting the wall so that people out there can know I am here. So it's almost the same thing. It's like they're trying to communicate.
Yes.
But most of this behavior, when finally the child is diagnosed,
Yes.
it can be maintained
Yes.
through behavioral modifications.
All right.
Where the energies of this child can be channeled to different areas.
Okay.
Like most autistic children are musical.
Yes.
And others like swimming and other things. So if your child likes to swim, expose them to swimming as much as possible to just get out that excess energy.
How do you know what your child will be warm towards?
You have to try.
You just explore.
You have to let them out there.
All right.
When you take them to school, give them books. Just notice, do they like to read?
Okay.
Take them for piano lessons. Take them for guitar lessons.
Okay.
Put them in the choir.
Yes.
Just try to see what they could be. And sometimes, especially when they are just a little bit grown up, they can even be able to give you cues.
Yes.
Like if you're putting your phone there and a child is picking it, and instead of looking for games, they go straight to the camera. They probably would like to take photos. So look for a camera. So at home, you'll even notice.
Yes.
You'll notice. Like some children, they just want to be in the kitchen with you. And you know, as mothers, we want to be all
away
careful.
from the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ebu toyo mtoto, and you just want them to be out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Probably they really want to be chefs.
Yes.
Yeah. They're really interested in cooking.
So it's observing what they
You
like.
really need to observe. You really need to think outside the box.
Yes.
You also need to look at what your child does. Sometimes you'll notice, like if your child puts on the TV, they go straight to the channels that like Animal Planet, for example.
Okay.
So they're really interested in animals. In that, try taking them to their grandpa's place, expose them to as many animals as possible.
Yeah.
Probably you'll notice they love a particular animal.
Yeah.
They probably will be horse riding.
Okay, I think we get I think we get and appreciate the point.
Yes.
That as moms is to observe.
Exactly.
From day zero,
Yes.
observe.
Yes.
Observe your child and appreciate and develop the areas that they're interested in and watch their behavior.
Yes.
So in the interest of time, imagine we are feeling like we should just go on and on. But at this
It's
point,
too
I'd
much.
like us to have the expert joining us to help us know more about autism.
Yes.
So please don't go away. Keep your comments coming. We'll be back right after the break. Welcome back to the Nest, where we discuss everything babies. Remember, we are still expecting to receive your comments, questions, and feedback. Also remember, we are looking forward to receive your baby photos, funny baby videos, and birthday wishes, which we will be sharing towards the end of the show. At this point, I would like to just go into today's episode's topic, where we're discussing special needs autism. We're joined by our expert, Esther. Hi, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Esther. I am a childcare expert, a doula, and much more. And I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome. And we just, I think the first simplest question is, help us define autism. What is autism?
So autism is simply a neurological disorder. So we have different, like last time we had cerebral palsy. So that one is physical. You can see the physical disorder. But with autism, it's a neurological disorder. So it means how the brain perceives, perceives things, for example, how the brain processes things is a bit different from what we call the norm.
Okay.
So basically that's what it is.
Okay.
But it is also, it's not a specific, like you can say A, B, C, D, and she said it pretty well.
Yeah.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah.
And you can see both the brother and the son have autism, but they're very different.
Yes.
So it's a whole spectrum.
Yes.
And so sometimes you do need to have a diagnosis and find out exactly what part of the spectrum. And sometimes it changes. You first get a diagnosis, and then later the baby starts showing other signs.
Oh, really?
And you can go fine tuning it as
Okay.
the child grows. Most of the time it is diagnosed around age 2 to 3.
All right.
Although some children will show signs even much early as 18 months.
Okay.
And sometimes even earlier,
Yeah.
as early as a few months. Yeah. So, but most times doctors are usually keen to first wait for the baby to reach age 2, 3 to make a diagnosis.
Okay, I don't know if we should go to the causes first before the symptoms. Maybe you can share with us, does anyone know the cause?
Actually, not quite. There's all these theories. Sometimes it's mother's nutrition during pregnancy. Sometimes but really the cause is unknown.
Okay.
Sometimes it can run in family, like if you have a son, so it can happen to another child. But there's really no concrete cause that has been established so
And
far.
you want to add something, maybe?
Yeah.
What did the doctors say?
No, actually, just what you remember when I started, I said the doctor told me to go do what?
Research. Yeah.
Because even the doctor doesn't know.
know.
And he was very honest.
Yeah.
And by the way, he was not just a general doctor, he was a neurologist. And he didn't know.
So that's
and he told me, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can the cause basically.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cannot explain it.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you probably go to the symptoms then? The
symptoms.
general symptoms.
The general ones.
The
because
general ones,
they
yeah.
differ depending on the spectrum. But I think she mentioned one that tends to be common with most of them is lack of eye contact.
Yes.
And that starts pretty early when they're, like a baby, a few months, and they are looking at you. They will
Look away.
They will not give you eye contact.
All right.
Some speech development tends to be affected.
Yes.
So you find that some of them will not talk.
Yes.
Or will talk very few words.
Yes.
Or some on her spectrum, Asperger's will tend to talk a lot.
Yes.
And that's one of the ways, and they talk, and even though you're not interested, they will keep talking.
Yes.
They'll keep just having this conversation. And you guys can be, I have a friend who has the same, and you guys can be talking about a car and it'll start talking about milk, you know, and really enter the conversation.
And you shall listen.
And she shall listen, because you have to listen to him, because he will not stop. So it's about, there's a difference in how the speech development goes. They get very frustrated because, as she said, people are not understanding them. And so for most of them, most of the time, it's those children you hear, they're problem children.
Yes.
Because they might get violent, they might be very destructive, but it's that no one is actually understanding what it is. So sometimes I tell parents, I mean, you've been a good parent, you possibly have followed, you know, you've disciplined your child, but your child just seems to be out of control. Sometimes just don't think that this child is from the devil.
It's
you
naughty.
know, like, because I hear, you know, people saying my child is from the devil. You need to take them to hospital so that they can, the doctor can actually look at them, have a history and see. And sometimes they just needed treatment, or they needed to be able to do something that will help them now even manage how to manage their emotions, know how to talk, know how to express themselves, find avenues of this extra energy. Yes, so basically those are the main symptoms.
Okay. And probably what would you share is the importance of early detection, because we're talking about what do you look out for when the baby is young?
Yes. So with autism, the baby might do and for some babies it's not obvious for age 2. They will follow the normal milestones. They will walk, they will even say mom, then suddenly they stop. So this child was doing everything, then suddenly they were walking, then they decide, I'm not walking anymore, they just want to sit. Or they were talking, they're even calling you, then suddenly they're not talking. So that's a sign that things are not what they should be. But there are others now who start early, the milestones. So they, like your baby, they delayed a bit, so walking a bit later. The milestones are not following the way they should follow, the sequence that they should follow. And of course we always give babies some time to catch up, but if they've been given time and things are not going the way they are, early intervention is key. When you are able to make a diagnosis so that this child can be helped. There are therapies that are involved. For some babies, they might even need some medication for some time to help, especially the very violent ones or the very frustrated ones. Some medication. There's nutritional therapies where you actually put your child on a diet. She said it very well. Most of these children cannot, their system is not able to digest, especially wheat and sugar. So and our diet tends to be very rich in wheat and sugar. You're eating chapati, bread, you know, and that's what we tend to give our children. We find that these children are all over the place. So the child also needs, diet is a big factor in this child being able to cope with their disorder. But these children are also amazing. Most of them are geniuses. They are able to, as she said, do amazing things that you would never think. Some have excellent hearing, some have very good vision, some
excellent memory,
you know. And sometimes even us as adults, we have little bits of it. As you said, it's a spectrum. There are adults moving around who've never been diagnosed with very mild forms of it, you know. And they do some. I have a friend who can do a very big sum in her head, and I'm like, and sometimes she'll do weird things, and you're like, okay, you know. So sometimes we have it, but it was never diagnosed. But at least those are high functioning. We call it,
So it reminded me of a boss. I had a boss who couldn't concentrate if the chairs that you're sitting on are not at a certain angle. So if he's working and your seat is, he'll just come and just twist it, you know, and then he's back to work.
So we have, I think, some forms of that. Just that now with autistic children, they tend to be very because there are many. Now you actually find that this child, if they're not helped properly at a young age, they might not become functioning adults like her brother, who is able to actually have a life of their own. Some of them have, if you don't, then you might have stay with a child for the rest of their life because they cannot function in the normal society like the way everyone experiences. So early intervention, of course it's a strain to the family, but I love that she's coming up with an initiative that helps. You know.
Actually, she should tell us about
it because these are so important.
It's this life. M-Life is basically maximum life, where we are seeking to help mothers understand their children, just like the questions you're asking now.
Yeah.
And teachers who are in regular schools, so that other children don't go what her brother went through.
Yeah.
Because before a child goes to a special school, all children are first enrolled in regular schools.
Yes.
At a very young age.
Yes.
And so if your child becomes the one who tears other children's books every now and then,
Yeah.
you'll be that regular parent in school because your child has done this and the other.
Yeah.
So now, to avoid that, we train teachers on how to deal with distraction and how to help this child even play with other kids in the playground.
All right.
Because it is like literally dragging them to the playground.
All right.
They don't like crowds. They
Yes.
don't like being with people.
Yes.
And so it's something, and again, now having an autistic child is not easy. It can really drain you
right.
emotionally,
Yeah.
financially,
Yeah.
and otherwise.
Yeah.
Because you're not even able to go to that wedding that your friend is having,
Yeah.
because your child can't fit in.
Yeah.
And you don't even want people to come to your house.
Yeah.
Because how will your child stay? So if you have a chama or something, you'd rather you hold it out there. And so when other people see like you don't want them in your house, you are despised. And in many families, if you're married, one spouse ends up, and mostly the mother ends up most of the time leaving employment.
All right.
It also becomes a strain financially.
Yeah.
Because most house helps, it becomes a big issue.
Yeah.
They can't deal with this
Yeah.
child. It happened to me. I had to leave my corporate job to take care of my son.
Yeah.
Toilet training, feeding.
Yeah.
It was quite a hassle. So it can really bring you down. So it's to equip mothers and parents at large on how to deal with it.
Yes.
Hence now we came up with M-Life. It's an initiative to help mothers deal with it. Because you learn a lot about children. So you have helped your autistic child.
Yes.
What about you?
Yeah.
You lost all your friends along the way.
Oh yeah.
Because you didn't go to this friend's wedding,
Yeah.
and you didn't go to the chama, and you
Yeah.
didn't go to their child's birthday party, or because you are very good and you didn't want to look bad, you went for the birthday party without your child,
Of course.
and
Oh,
it didn't
dear.
look very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's to equip mothers and parents to be able to deal with it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I think I'll ask, how do people reach you?
So I have my number. And also on Facebook, we have a Facebook page, M-Life Educators.
All right.
And we are holding workshops every now and then. We will be having a workshop. This is the month of every now and then. We just jump 1 month. Yes. Then we hold workshops every now and
Hey,
then.
may
over
God
different
bless you as you
topics.
continue impacting
Yes.
people's lives. Esther, you look like you wanted to say something.
No, I was saying it's an amazing initiative.
Yeah.
Because as she was talking about that social structure, many marriages break because it's an autistic child is a very, very emotional intensive.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so as parents, especially parents sometimes are in denial. So one parent will be like, okay,
Yeah.
so there's that. So parents have to come together
Yeah.
so that they work together, because at the end of it all your friends will leave you, so you just have the two of you. So
Yeah.
marriages break, relationships break.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very intense time. So having a social structure where parents can actually know that this is normal, and maybe they can also make other friends where they can have their own village to just take care of themselves, so that they are able to take care of their children, because if
Okay.
they don't take care of themselves, then they're not effective caregivers
Yeah.
to their children.
Okay, I think then I go back to how do we integrate this, our babies, because these babies are our babies, and the end objective is to have them swallowed into our society. So I don't know, maybe from your experience, then we get the advice from the expert on ways to just integrate these children into our society. What are you doing?
Wow. Now, as I had said earlier, you will lose friends along the way because you're not able to attend most of the functions that they attend.
Yeah.
But there will always be that one friend or two friends who, when you explain your child to them, they will embrace them. If they have a child or two, make a point of visiting them every now and then,
Yes.
so that your child is now used to seeing different people.
Yes.
He starts knowing the world is not just about my family.
Yes.
It's not about school, home, school, home.
Yes.
Even sometimes leave him there. for 2 hours, so that he is able to find his way without your assistance.
Yes.
So he starts becoming independent. When you're going for shopping, stop leaving this child behind. Of course, it is going to be frustrating for you, but psychologically prepare yourself, because you don't know when they will throw a tantrum in the supermarket. But tag them along.
Wow.
Let them know how to go to the supermarket.
Yes.
Sometimes when they are a bit older, like now my son is 9 years,
Yes.
give them the money to pay to the cashier and have them be given change.
Yes.
Let them experience the real world.
Yes.
Don't just leave them in the house and they don't know what happens out there. If you drive and they are driven to school and back, to church and back, once in a while pick a matatu. Let them experience public transport. Yes.
That is when they are older. Tell me when you learned that your child was autistic, because this is mainly, I'm sure the moms back home have really young children.
Yes.
So tell me, when they're about 2 years, 3 years,
Yes.
you know they're autistic.
Yes.
What changes did you make?
Wow. There was not much of changes then, because I think I was still absorbing this shock.
Oh dear.
And I was trying, because when he was diagnosed, he was almost 3, and the doctor told me, maybe let's put him in school, play group, and see whether he'll pick in speech.
Yeah.
So most of my time around that time, I spent looking for schools. It's not easy to find schools that will accept these children.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time, and even in the schools that I visited, there was a lot of rejection. I remember one school that I went to, and after about 2 weeks, we got this long letter about why our son can't be in that school. He's destructive and many other things.
Yeah.
And it is really heartbreaking for a parent.
Yeah.
And for some time, we actually stayed with him at home. Then we found a kindergarten just around the estate where he used to go. And so most of his interaction was just in school with those other children.
Yes.
Although it was not, he was uncomfortable being with them. They were uncomfortable being with him. And it was just like, yeah, we don't want you. And he's like, yes, even me, I don't want you people.
We are equal.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. We don't want each other.
Yeah.
I don't know why our parents are forcing us to come together.
Yeah.
But you just have to sometimes really push him. He can't be in a world of his own. So sometimes you really just have to push him, even around the estate. Just find that friendly neighbor that will allow his son or his daughter to come to your house for an hour. Yeah.
Okay, Terry, please add something, because I know in your experience with your brother and all the integration, and actually say what you wanted to say.
There's a lot of stigmatization out there. For a very long time, my brother withdrew. He didn't want to go out because when he goes out, he wants to talk. People aren't listening, or people lose interest. He's a talker, so he would talk and talk and talk, and they really don't know how to read emotions or read people's faces. So they wouldn't know if you're bored. They wouldn't know if you're okay. Let's change the topic. No, because when he starts a topic, he will run through it till he's run out of ideas. Or so. At some point he noticed, okay, people are not listening, people are avoiding me, so he withdrew from church, from social circles, and also for us, we used to feel so bad that we are going out and you can see it. Like for me, I would go to school or we'd go to a neighbor's house. There are so many people there, and I wouldn't want to let go of him.
Yeah.
If he wants to talk, let me be the one to listen then.
Yeah.
If then no people to listen, let me be the one to listen.
Wow.
It really affected me, but I decided, okay, I will. Even when he finished university, it was such an achievement.
No, it is.
I remember we held a graduation party for him.
Aww.
And it was amazing.
Aww.
Tears flowing out of the joy.
Yeah.
You could see the joy in my parents' faces.
Yeah.
Because there are many people who thought he'll never do it. He'll never do it. He'll never get a job. He'll never finish university. And the university that he went to embraced him fully.
Wow.
We were recommended Pan-African University, Pan-African Christian University, and that's where he did his course in community development.
Wow.
And you could see even him finishing.
Yeah.
It was such a joy.
Aw.
Because that's when you say, all the naysayers out there, you prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's not a disability.
Yeah.
It's a different ability.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So to all mothers out there, you know, you might feel like, okay, what's happening to my child? Why is my child different? And you tend to withdraw, and also you really refuse to accept it. But it's not a disability. It's not something that cannot be worked on, or because you can use that to the child's benefit, and the child will thrive, the child will grow.
Yeah.
So it's an encouragement
Yeah.
to all mothers out there who are going through the same. It may be hard at first, but it gets easier. Right now, my brother, for a very long time, we thought my brother would never get into a matatu by himself. He would not know the change he's meant to be given, because he's given 100 bob and the fare is 50. He should get 50 bob back.
Yeah.
But slowly, I liked how my parents just let him go slowly, and right now he goes anywhere. He just needs to know, okay, matatu number this goes to Strathmore and back.
Yeah.
I need to alight here, then take another matatu from here. You just need to, as she said, walk with your child.
Yeah.
Grow with your child.
Yeah.
It's time consuming, it's draining emotionally, but it's fulfilling to just see your child thrive.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, Esther, any closing remarks?
As I can't say it better.
Okay.
Just spend time, intervene early, so that your child can be helped.
Yes.
But also, these children are amazing. They conquer the world if you just build their abilities from an early age. So don't lock up your child. Just build them up. I think they'll be much more productive than some of us in the future. So you just need to develop them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as she said, it's not a disability.
Yeah.
They're just different.
Okay.
And celebrate them as they are.
Oh, I think we have successfully demystified autism. I hope you're feeling as refreshed as I am and as encouraged as I am as you continue to watch us. We're actually going to go on a small break to come back to answer all the questions you have been sending through to us on the section of Ask the Doula. Don't go away. Welcome back to The Nest. We are in the final section of our episode and I'm already feeling sad. At this point, we'll be answering your questions that you have sent to us, either through the number that you see on your screen or on our Facebook page, that is Covenant Television Network. So I'll immediately go into the questions. We will. This is a question from Beth from Buruburu. She says, when should my baby be ready to move to another room? He is now 6 months old.
That's a good question. So for most times we say when the baby is sleeping for most of the night, maybe 6-7 hours at night, or maybe even more, then that's the time, because then you don't need to attend to them at night, so that it also does not interrupt your sleep. So whichever part of the journey that your baby starts sleeping through the night, they're ready to move.
All right.
But saying that,
yes,
we don't want your baby in your room past 1 year. Babies are intelligent. You need your privacy.
Yeah.
I think past 1 year is a good time to move your baby.
Move.
Yes.
And have you been moving your babies at...
My baby is 9 months now. The countdown has started.
The countdown has started.
Immediately.
I'm now thinking about it.
All right, so I'll just move to the next question. Someone is asking, she's called Anne from Riru, and she asks, nappy rash, what causes it and how can I deal with it?
There are several reasons why your baby can get nappy rash. Number one is if the baby is not changed frequently enough, especially at the past stool. So stool tends to burn if they stay with urine for a long time. Remember, urine has minerals on it, so it can irritate the skin. So change your baby often, as often as possible. If they've passed stool, you change them immediately. The second reason could be they're reacting to a diaper. So if you've recently changed the diaper, or it's a new diaper, sometimes that's what they're reacting to. The other reason why they can have a nappy rash or a diaper rash could be an infection. It can be a yeast infection, and usually with a yeast infection, no matter what you do, it doesn't heal until you seek treatment. So if the nappy rash seems to be not going away, then you need to see your doctor, who will give you some medication to help it clear. Make sure that when you change your baby, you wipe with water. Especially with urine, we tend not to wipe off the babies. We just remove the diaper. If they've not passed through, you change. But to encourage mothers to, every time that you're changing your baby's diaper, please wipe. Take a cloth with warm water, completely wipe the area because of the urine, and that will keep the skin nice and soft. You can also use some oil to just moisturize the place, or some barrier cream like zinc and castor that helps the skin to remain dry.
All right.
Yes.
Maybe I'll ask in, just maybe for mothers out there, including myself, is there any advantage of leaving the baby without a diaper? There's a lot of talk about, oh, let the baby be free.
Yes, it's a good thing.
Oh, really?
At least in the day. It just feels nice. Can you imagine if you had to wear a diaper the whole day, especially in this heat?
Okay.
So you can, when you're taking your baby out to the sun in the morning, can remove the diaper so that they can have an hour or so without a diaper. Some freedom, especially in this nice hot weather.
All right.
It's nice. Yes.
So remove your carpets and all, take your baby out in the grass.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to thank you so much, Mom at Home, and everyone else who's been watching us. We really appreciate you, and we are here just for you. At this point, I'd like to thank my amazing guests, Terry and Anne. Thank you so much for your amazing stories. Thank you so much, Esther, as usual.
Thank you.
Amazing to have you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you to the whole team behind the camera. Thanks to Eastlands Hotel. And until we meet again, I am your host, Gladwell Kameni, here on The Nest. See you next time.